Good morning, Flowcadmates. Today, we are going to be talking about your CRM or your database. Does it need CPR? So many of us use our databases, but a lot of times they're actually things like notes and Excel spreadsheets and all of that sort of thing. So what we want to talk about today, we want to talk about the important thing in your business, one of the most important things, and that is actually your CRM or your client relation or your customer relationship manager. Now, on this slide, I've listed 8 different providers of different CRMs that work really well for real estate business. Some of us are companies that we already have a CRM, which are really good to use. And we really want to talk today about how important this tool is in our business in managing our clients, managing our relationships, and really managing the way that we do business. So we've kind of done a little bit of a survey with a bunch of agents and talked to some people about how big your CRM or your database should be. And I think manageable numbers in contacts is about 600 people. And these are people that you're going to be in touch with regarding real estate. So it can be part of your sphere of influence. It can be friends. It can be family. It can be just about anybody. But we want the basis of this to be people that you'll be contacting regarding real estate. And of those 600, you should have 50 people that are really your VIPs. And your VIPs are people that are really in that sphere of influence that you are kind of trading business back and forth. Maybe they're people that are really going to go to bat for you, and they're going to be talking to other people and recommending you to them. And you're kind of that person for them as well. So today we're going to talk about 5 really easy steps that you can take today, if you haven't already, to build your database. So the first part is to plan ahead. And I know that most of us, when we meet a client for the very first time, we need to get specific pieces of information for them. And we also want to know how we're going to format that information. So when you get in touch with a client or a sphere of influence person or somebody that you want in your database, you need to have 4 mandatory pieces of information. First, you want their full name. And as many of us know, we work a lot of times with couples, with families. So it's really important that we get the names of all family members. And having kids' names as well is going to help us in the future. And it just makes us somebody that the relationship is going to be a little stronger. We also want to get the correct mailing address, best mailing address. And all of this stuff, it just makes sense when we meet with somebody for the first time to get this information. And then we don't have to call back and say, hey, can you send this to me? It's best to get it all at one time. So we also want correct and best email address. And in some cases, there may be multiple email addresses, but we want to make sure that we have the best for them to, the email that they're going to check regularly. And then best phone numbers. Some people have office numbers, cell phone numbers, home numbers. Obviously, if we can get the cell number, that's going to be the best for us. But if there are multiple numbers, we'd like to get those as well. Now, here's some really nice information to get. Obviously, in your CRM, having closing dates is important. Birthdays, birthday for the person, birthdays for the family, anniversary, favorite restaurant, favorite activities. Maybe they have a favorite sports team, things like that. And these are going to help us if we want to give somebody, say, a gift card to a specific restaurant that they like. It helps us understand them better and have more information. So there are a couple of things that we can also do to get this information. One thing that you can do is go to your social media accounts, and you can actually usually do a CVS format to download those contacts and then upload them into your CRM. You can also harvest your email contacts, and through specific on Google, if you have Google email, you can go through emails and you can, again, create CVS forms that can then be uploaded into a CRM. Now, the next step is, once I have all of this information, we know what this is like. You have duplicates, you have all this information. Some of the information isn't correct, and it can take a lot of time to go through it and get it cleaned up. What we have found and what we suggest is your time is really valuable. And there are resources that you can hire to go into your database and clean it up. So here are some suggestions of companies that you can use as virtual assistants. that you can do specific one-time, one-off tasks, or you can use them as many of us already do as your virtual assistant that really helps to manage your business. So this is a list of 7 different vetted virtual assistants that we have either talked to people that have used these companies or we have heard about through other sources. And put in chat, if you wouldn't mind, if you're using a different company and one that you really like, drop that information into chat because we'd love to update this list if you have somebody that you've been really happy with. And I know that there are many of you that are using virtual assistants. So here's how you can really make the most of your database. And I'm going to talk about this, but there's also a class that is in the knowledge library that talks about different ways that you can use your database to stay in touch with people. So the letter of the week is something that you've heard from Rick. And the idea is having A for week 1 in January, B for week 2 in January, C, and so on. You go all the way through the alphabet, and through 1 year, you're going to go through that list twice. And it's using that letter to go through and talk to your VIPs, to talk to your sphere of influence to really contact those individuals. The next thing that is important is to tag your contacts. Tagging is something that can be really helpful to click on and gather everybody into one list. And by tagging your contacts, you can do things like VIPs, leads that you're nurturing, past clients, current clients, agents, escrow people, et cetera, et cetera. So if you're trying to find that contact, you can say, okay, this is an agent that I worked with a while ago. Click on agents, they're all going to be there. Tagging can really save a lot of time when you're organizing your contacts. A really good way to get in touch with people is to say, hey, give them a call. Hey, I'm updating my information. I just want to make sure that I have it all correct. I have this number, this, whatever. And it's a good way to get that contact. And the way that we like to connect it is with a client event. And we talk about this a lot. Give me something. If you give somebody something, they're going to be more amicable to give something back to you. So it's great to reach out and say, hey, we've got a client event coming up. I just want to make sure that I have all the correct information for you because I want to reach out to you so that you have these dates and you can save it on your calendar. It's also important to have it for gifting. If you have a gifting program, to reach out to people, again, giving them something, having that information in your database can make it much, much easier. So again, in the knowledge library, there's a class that's called How to Be Top of Mind, and it's going to take all of this information and give you more expanded information about how to remain top of mind with those that are in your database. So this document is also on Knowledge Library, and it's in the Forms library. And so these are calendar post-close touches. And this is a great calendar. Once you close a deal, these are some great ways to consistently reach out to people. So 2 days after close of escrow, you give them a call. You say, hey, any issues? Everything going okay? Just wanted to check in. In 2 weeks, you call again. Just want to make sure you're settling in okay. Are you getting all the referrals that you need if you're painting or whatever? Just make sure everything's good. Check in another month. How are things going? Have you met any neighbors? Have you found, favorite coffee shops or whatever? Really kind of just touching base with them to know how they're doing. And then 3 months, again, checking in to make sure that everything's okay. So those touches right after close of escrow are really appreciated. Too many times what happens is you close the deal, you're on to the next, and that client is out of sight, out of mind. But it really is important to remain in contact with them. Then annual call on the closing date, just to check in with them and see how things are going. And then we talked about getting anniversary dates, birth dates, things like that. So that's also a great time to call people, wish them a happy birthday, happy anniversary, things like that. Again, this list is in the knowledge library, so you can print it. And as you're putting or going through your contacts, you can mark these dates in your CRM, and then a reminder will come up to let you know to reach out to these clients. Here's something that's really important to do, and it's something that just kind of needs to become a habit. As soon as you get a new contact, put it into your database immediately. Because otherwise, if you think, oh, I've got to do that, then you forget it. Then all the information isn't where you know it is, or all together in one place. So it's really important to, when you get a new contact, put it into your CRM immediately. So here's some homework that we'd like to talk about to help you prepare your CRM. If you are in the Q1 group, hopefully you've already started all this. If you're in Q2 and you have already have your CRM going, you're probably already doing this. But if you're not currently using a CRM, we suggest that you use one. I know that that most of us that are with different companies, there's a CRM that is offered to us, and those are usually a great place to start. If you are using a CRM, just make sure that your contacts are up to date. And this, again, gives you a great reason to call and reach out to people to say, hey, I just want to make sure that I have your contact information correct. Then by setting the dates, it's going to allow you to connect with your contacts and reaching out, make sure that you have the correct information. And then these touches are a great thing to write down in your weekly navigator, because you're making those touches. So what are the roadblocks? A lot of times it's just committing the time to getting the work done and working on your database, but it's going to make all the difference in keeping things organized. I was just on a call with some of my accountability partners, and we were talking about CRMs, and we were talking about putting those reminders and notifications that pop up automatically really keep you in touch with your client base, and it works out really well.